And I think Graham's just sharing your PowerPoint now.
Yeah, brilliant, thank you. So I'm going to talk obviously about the EAL quality mark at our school, Norham High School. We are slightly different to some of the schools that you've heard from so far. If you just want to go to the next slide, Graham, please. In terms of our demographic, we are a very small secondary school in the northeast of England, and we have a really predominantly white British community. So until recently, we have had very, very few pupils with EAL over the years. So we had a sudden increase last year of families joining our community in our school with EAL, mainly asylum seekers, which saw us have a 56% increase of intake of pupils with EAL from 2019 to 2020. And in total now, they make up 10% of our school roll. We now have 13 first languages other than English in the school. And these things led us to a full internal review of our EAL support provision. We didn't have an EAL lead. We didn't have any provision really, because it wasn't something that we needed in our school. It wasn't the demographic that we had. So this was all very new to us, and it led to us in a new robust EAL policy, and myself taking the lead on that and upskilling myself to develop that provision in the school. I'll have the next slide, Graham, please. Which led us to the EAL quality mark. This was a completely newly developed provision. It was something I done lots of CPD about, I learned lots about, but again, not something we were experienced in. So once we developed that provision, we wanted some verification that we were doing it right, and that we were serving these young people appropriately. We wanted to share with our local community the work that we were doing to develop our provision, and that, you know, pupils with EAL weren't just coming in and not getting that support, and that we were working really hard to set that provision up for them. We also wanted some clear next steps to continue development. We're currently EAL Quality Mark Silver School, and we now have an action plan that shows us the next steps for us, and aiming for that gold award, and things that we perhaps hadn't thought of that we could do to continue to develop it on our journey with our pupils with EAL. I'll have the next one, Graham, please. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our EAL assessment system that we set up, and this is sort of our flow chart for our pupils when they join us. The first thing we do is assess English language proficiency. Being a secondary school, pupils don't necessarily have that exposure in class to phonics and that sort of early language development that they perhaps would in primary school setting. So we have to change things in quite a big manner really to meet the needs of some of these pupils. So it starts with assessment, and then it flows down all the different steps resulting from that assessment. Some children might come in, have very little support, they might not need a lot of support. Other children will have a full programme, which I'll touch on in a little while. And this process is followed and reviewed every 6 months until we deem that the child is proficient in the English language and no longer require that support from our team. Behind this flow chart is a whole EAL hub, and we'll have a resources hub with tons and tons of resources that we've gathered from different colleagues and working with other schools. Our pupil parent carer voice, which we use to inform provision, and I think most importantly for us has been regular staff CPDL and the opportunity for teaching staff in particular to become more skilled in teaching early English language development. I'll go the next bit, Graham, please.